We're chasing comedy, working on jokes, working on bits, seeing what sticks, seeing what stinks. We're Brian and Dustin, and we're chasing comedy.
So what are your hobbies, Brian?
Hey.
What do you do when you're not doing comedy? What do you do? Is it just comedy?
It's like the lame. Is this the typical
No, I'm serious.
podcast
I'm
interview?
serious. You don't know anything about me. I'm curious about you. We don't know beyond comedy. We don't know anything.
Nothing. We
do
do
nothing.
You do
You
nothing.
don't go to, I feel like you're one of those guys. You go to like a wine and paint class. You do that?
No, I just did. I was in Mexico doing ayahuasca. That was the
that's
closest
right.
thing I did. Yeah.
That's right. That's what you do. You do hallucinogenics for fun.
I do hallucinogenics and self growth workshops for fun. That's my idea of drinking and wine tastings.
Have you talked about that on stage? You go and do mushrooms in the woods?
Well, you know what? It's fun. This is one of those things. It's like, what do I say about it? Like, I mean, it's weird that I bang up against. This is like something I actually wanted to bring up today because I'm like, I don't have a bit and I don't even have an angle for a bit. Like, it's such a weird, exotic thing that I don't know. I have a block to it, and I want to like hash out any kind of possible approach to sharing that. Because it feels like so much exposition. Because you have to go, ayahuasca is a native plant, a native medicine used by shamans and in Amazonian tribes for generations to expand consciousness. It also,
I don't think you need all that. I think you guys are just, dropping drugs in the woods. I think that's the joke. It's not, you don't have to go into some detailed explanation of what it is you're doing. You're Aaron Rodgers. You're basically your Aaron Rodgers, and just own it. Own it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wait. Hold on. Okay. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, that's who you are.
I'm not trying. No, I'm not trying to be like highfalutin or grandiose. I was basically using that as the jumping off point to the joke that you just said, which is to say, it's a shaman. Basically, I was just doing drugs in the woods. That to me, that's funny. Or to put it another way, I was doing drugs in the woods. Who am I kidding? Which to me, that's the point that it is.
The funniest part about this to me, as just on the show, is that the thing that you go to open yourself up in a way that you can't in any other way is the thing that you're blocked on as a comic.
Wait, what? Say that again? What?
The thing you go and do to open yourself, and then it's the thing that you're blocked as a comic, which I think is funny.
I have no idea how to even broach the subject on stage.
I think sometimes you just overthink. You're such a good comic, but you overthink. Well, the bits, like you overthink the bits.
Of course, I do.
Yeah, you don't need to do that anymore. It's like enjoy your time, your golden years in comedy. Be okay with a bit, just kind of like going out there and kind of maybe it flops around and comes back.
Yeah,
be okay with that. I think you need to kind of calm down a little bit.
I did ayahuasca in the woods. I mean, but I saw. That's funny that you said that because I saw Mike Birbiglia on a podcast, on Tom Papa's podcast. He said something that really resonated with me. He goes, I was trying to figure out how to talk about my cancer diagnosis and one of his shows, and he said that his first joke was, I found out I have cancer, which for a hypochondriac was awesome. Right, because I finally get to like validate, and say, finally validate all of my fears, like of all that I've always said. And I can't even exactly remember the joke, but it was a really solid joke where he basically said, see now we have a lot more to talk about now. You thought I was lying about rickets, too, and now I got cancer. So what are you going to say to that? And he said that joke just became the entree point. If you have, he said one, and the audience laughs at that. Boom, you're done. Like you're in, and then you can just go into the bit. And it's like, that is such a great point to make about comedy. It's like, you need the entree joke, right? Like to establish the premise that bang, it doesn't have to be the greatest joke in the world, but it has to be one that sets up what you're doing. And so the ayahuasca thing, like I was saying, what's the joke? What is the entree point, the doorway that gets me? I was in the Amazonian jungle drinking an ancient concoction. I was doing drugs in the woods. I was, which that's almost fun, like the good enough joke, but I don't quite feel it's exactly that, but that's something, that's a pretty good.
Well, it's
solid
interesting you bring
entry
up
point.
cancer. It's like I just got a message that I'm working with a guy and has cancer. He's about to die, and he wants me to coach him in his one and only performance. And we're working on that this week. And so talk about a high bar. So
wow.
So he's doing comedy. He's always wanted to do it. He's got He's got the show packed out, sold out. Like there's all these people, and he's never done it. And he's reaching out to me to kind of help shape this performance that he's about to have. Amazing. And so it's like, it's crazy. So it's like, and he has
like a magical gift to give somebody, as well as like, what an ask. Like you're gonna turn me into.
I'm just gonna give him a bunch of. I'm gonna give a bunch of your bits and be like, just do these. It'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go with the A game.
Brian won't care. You'll get some applause breaks. Say a bunch of things real fast and feel it. You'll be fine.
I mean, come on. If I can't donate a few bits to a guy who's for one show, Yeah.
So it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty intimidating, but it's going to be exciting as well. So,
that is kind of funny.
And then I was just like, should I charge him? And I was like, just charge him, dude. What do you get? You can't be, you gotta eat.
Yeah, of course. This is I mean, wow.
Hope he's not listening, but or he may not be. Never mind.
What was the show? What was the show that? Where Dave Chappelle coached Will Smith and doing stand-up. Do you remember this TV thing? It was
Prince of Bel-Air or something?
No. It was a real show where I can't remember what the premise is, but like it was either people doing something they've never done before and they wanted to do it like for the first time or something. And it was, I can't remember what it was. Like it's somebody's dream. And so the show will take somebody through that thing. And it's like Will Smith wants to do stand up and Dave Chappelle is brought in as a coach to do his one stand up performance. And it's like high concentration. God, I'm blanking out. It's like, I don't know if it was a Will Smith show, but it's definitely not. It was like a reality thing. It was like following him to the improv to do his thing. And Chappelle coached him in it and everything else. I could Google it, but I don't want to take time away from that.
I bet the guy didn't have cancer, though. I bet it was,
No, he did not. You are. No, that is an added wrinkle.
I'm not Dave Chappelle, but but his guy didn't have cancer. So it's
I don't want to say nothing, but this is a little different.
And also celebrities doing comedy is not even fair because people automatically give you love. Unless you're Charlie Murphy.
Like
Charlie
Will
Murphy.
Smith. Yeah. Like Will Smith needs more narcissistic mirroring, right? No, I don't think so.
We saw what happened to him. So
exactly.
Worked itself out.
Yeah.
But, not everybody's funny. I remember Charlie Murphy. They didn't give it to Charlie in the beginning. I gave him his first spot. And I remember watching him and like Donnell, everybody's like, you got to get him up. And I got him up and it was so bad. And it was like, he had no idea how good he was at what he was going to do. It was just this like, I'm famous. And there was no performance at all. Like he couldn't find the thing until he realized, how much people just want to hear him talk and tell stories. And then he became pretty great. And then he passed, which sucks. But everybody, cancer. That's the theme
cancer.
The theme is it's cancer today.
So you coach two people with cancer.
I don't think Charlie had it yet. I don't think Charlie had it yet. I think he was. That was the beginning. It was his first stand-up. So I mean, he did comedy for like 20 years.
Yeah.
It was,
but
maybe he had
cancer.
it. Maybe he had it. Yeah. I don't know.
Dormant.
This show's taking a dive. It's because this is what happens, Adam, when the teacher leaves the class. This is what happens. Hey, you
Adam,
sound good.
You're Adam. You're the key. You're the soul of the show. If you bolt, we are out of control. The two kids are in charge of the classroom here. We can't have that. Okay, Adam keeps us honest.
Yeah.
I feel like Brian holding this microphone.
Okay. like a door. You guys can't just go on Amazon and get a couple of mic holders. What's going on here?
Yeah, I know. Neither one of us is doing a very good job.
Right.
Thank you for pointing that out. Hang on, I've got a mic stand here. No, I've got a mic stand. Does this work? It's a shotgun mic. I always feel like I have
Here goes 9 minutes. Go ahead.
9 minutes. Hold on. How's this?
There we go. Yeah. What?
Is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
The sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold the mic in like a tribble.
You're fine. You're too
yeah,
loud
okay.
anyway. It's perfect. Just back it up a little.
Good.
It's good. It's good.
Okay. Good. All right. Good.
Your voice rings in my ears.
So we've got So it's possible premise ideas. We've got the ayahuasca thing, and we've got the cancer show. Right?
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not making a bit out of this guy.
I understand that. I understand. But that's let's not go
that's
there.
me and you. No, that's occasionally we're gonna have a real moment. Just so you know, on the show, and that was a real moment. I just want you to know that's all that was. That was a real moment.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I'm gonna have a couple of those throughout the time we do this. There'll be like a moment, and then there's bits, and there's real moments. I dip in and out. I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna have to figure it out on your own. Is this a bit or is this a real moment? So we'll see.
Adam, can you come up with some kind of visual, like kapow graphic, Batman graphics, so that when
Brian,
we have real moments,
he's not getting paid enough to do all this. We can barely get his mic to work. You think he's gonna do a great house?
That was a joke too, Dustin.
See, I don't know. That was a real moment. I didn't know. You got to raise your hand. Maybe raise your hand when you're having a real moment.
It's like Fred Norris on the old Stern show. I just hit a button and it's real moment flashing on the screen. Right? That's what I want. Nothing. I don't want Adam to have to do any work. I just want it prefabricated and hits a button. Real moment, manufactured
music. No. Just music, piano. That's it.
Fine.
That's all.
Perfect. Yes.
You don't need
a little slow
graphic.
Slow ballady thing, so we know that we're going to separate the performative inauthenticity from the genuine emotional bonding that takes place on the show.
This is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
That was a real moment right there. That was a real moment.
No,
right
that was, you were trying hard on that one. That was
no. I meant your moment.
That was it.
Trashing me. I meant your moment trashing that.
Oh, that's trashing you. That's what the show. That's what the show's about.
Can I ask once again somebody to go through the transcripts of our previous episodes and ask if I did do the Ben Vereen joke? We did discuss the Ben Vereen joke somewhere. Adam, Dustin, sound familiar?
Ben Vereen, give us more.
Yeah, joke about Ben Vereen.
Give us more.
I have a joke about Ben Vereen. And then, but at the beginning of my act, what I do is I go, "Hi, everyone. My name is Brian Scott McFadden." I introduce and I go, "By the way, before I start my show, I'll be doing a joke about Ben Vereen later." The joke is, what's that?
Do you know this one, Adam? I don't know.
No,
I don't think so. Adam,
no, it doesn't sound familiar.
I don't know. I don't know who the hell Ben Vereen is. So you obviously
Ben Vereen played Chicken George on Roots, and he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay,
he was a great African-American actor. He was in Pippin on Broadway, Song and Dance Man. He was in what's the Roy Scheider movie where he played the director, the famous, the Roy Scheider musical. He played Joe Gideon in All That Jazz. Do you ever see the movie All That Jazz?
Rob Schneider? Not Rob Schneider. What's that guy's name?
No, Roy Scheider. I always get Rob Schneider and Roy Scheider mixed up. I thought Rob
equally brilliant. Yes,
yeah, equally brilliant. Rob Schneider was not in Jaws. Okay, I'm just saying.
He should have been. Right? I would see that remake.
That's actually pretty funny. I'm going to write that down as a possible bit. That I'm going to go. I always thought Rob Schneider was in Jaws. I don't know, like whatever. But anyway, and Roy Scheider was in Tommy Boy.
You can do it. We need a bigger boat.
Yeah. No, Okay, I don't even know where this went off the rails, but you don't know who Ben Vereen is either, right?
No, nobody does.
And Adam, you don't know who Ben Vereen is.
Nobody,
Okay.
nobody ever is. Nobody.
Okay, Dustin, don't you understand? That's the point of the joke. The whole point of the joke is, by the way, later on, just hear me out, Dustin. I say to the audience at the beginning of my act, I literally used to open with this, and I would go, by the way, my name is Brian Scott McFadden, comedian. Oh, by the way, before I want to get something out of the way. Later on, I'm going to be doing a joke, and the punchline is Ben Vereen. Now, anybody know who Ben Vereen is? And 90% of the audience would say no. And I would go, so I would say, Roy, in case you don't know, Ben Vereen is an African-American song and dance man who was in Pippin on Broadway. He played Chicken George in Roots. He's been on numerous TV shows, had a very strong career. Ben Vereen, and that's the punchline. A lot of people... Because comics said no one was getting the joke because no one knows who Ben Vereen is. I said, well, I'll tell the audience. He said, that won't be funny because you have to explain. I said, no, I'll tell them before I do it. And then it'll be funny. So later on when I do the joke, you guys are going to be really glad you had this information. Anyway, moving on. And then I just go into my act, right? And then later on, the punchline to the joke, the whole punchline is something like this, which I've never been able to work out, but it was it was like being in a fight. I felt like I was in a fight with Wolverine. It was like being in a fight with Wolverine and Ben Vereen at the same time, right? Like because a guy beat me up. He had claws. I was like, they should have You know who should have played Wolverine? Ben Vereen. Okay, you know that the joke is the punchline is Ben Vereen. I don't know what the setup is or why it gets there, but it's something about Wolverine would be funny if Wolverine was played by Ben Vereen, like it was a musical with Wolverine. And it starred Ben Vereen, and that to me is funny. But I don't know what the setup is, and so, but I used to just set it up by giving the Ben Vereen reference. He's a song and dance man. He was on Broadway, and then the punchline is Ben Vereen. So this is a lot of moving.
I don't like this bit at all.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing? You got a name that rhymes as Wolverine? That's the joke? I don't get it. I've tried to get it. I think you're a great comic, but I don't get this bit. I've tried. I'm really trying. Okay. I can't get it.
All right.
I can't get. Is the audience getting it? Are they feeling it?
There you go. There's Ben Vereen.
Oh,
there's Ben Vereen.
Okay, I know that guy. He does like commercials for like prostate and stuff.
Well, he's dead now, I think. But anyway,
well, he used to. They still run him, I think, on Fox News.
Oh wait, he's still alive.
Oh no,
he's still alive.
No, that's the other black dude. Is he? Yeah, he's still alive. What are you talking about?
He was in plenty of movies, lots of movies.
Roots.
Look, yes, he was in something. I think
Roots.
He was in
That's a classic.
Top 5. I think he was
All
in
that
top
jazz.
5 with Chris Rock. I think he was in top, or an Eddie Murphy movie. It was one of the. I think he was pretty sure he was in.
He was in
Fresh
Webster.
Prince, I think he.
Webster.
Yeah.
That's his best work.
Yeah. I guess I don't want to take time to defend the bit. I don't want to take time to defend the bit.
Pretend I'm an audience member that doesn't quite get it, because I think there's going to be a lot of that happening. I know you have this clever way of kind of this surreal way of introducing it, and I think that's interesting. You know, I'm with you. It's just when you get to is the punch just that it rhymes with Wolverine? That's the punch.
Well, the punch is actually that I just used the name Ben Vereen and no one got it, and it rhymes with Wolverine. Because if Wolverine, I think they should have a musical with Wolverine, and I think it should star Ben Vereen. Now, the joke is lame. The joke is lame, except for the fact that I've set up the thing from the very beginning so that.
But did you set it up? I'm wondering if the audience is quick enough to even understand that you're setting it up. Like, I know they're going to remember the name again, maybe after the second drink. I don't know, but
okay. You're probably right.
Like the Rob Schneider thing seems funny because we know Rob Schneider, so him in a Jaws movie's funny, but this guy nobody knows the guy, so you're just really going off of this one name. That's kind of silly, I guess, but not really. It's just the guy's name, right? But it's only silly when you compare it to Wolverine. But if you're doing some ridiculous, tedious bit about rhyming and all that, that might be a way to get some sort of laugh at the end. But I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Well, I left out one of the bigger components of the joke itself,
which was,
the piece itself the whole thing at the end was actually one of my characters who was telling a story. It's my boxing character that I do, which is an African American boxing character, and he tells these crazy stories. Yeah, as I tell you, and he goes, you know, one time he fought a guy who had he was the most vicious hitter in boxing history. And it felt like he had claws in his hands. He would dance and claw you and dance and claw you and dance and claw you and dance and claw. It was like fighting Wolverine and Ben Vereen at the same time. Okay, that was the joke. The joke was that, okay? That was the joke.
Because he's a dancer. Okay, that's why you're saying
yes.
But nobody knows. But nobody knows Wolverine's a dancer. So
yes, I mean, and I thought it was really
the other guy. Whatever.
So you get that there's an added component to the joke that's a little funnier now. Okay, maybe. But yeah, but the joke was he would dance and claw. It would claw you and dance and claw you and dance. It was like fighting Wolverine. It was like fighting Wolverine. He would claw you, but he could dance too. So he would dance and okay, and scene. Okay. If I could show this photo, then I think I could get away with the bit. Okay?
Talk about jazz hands. Wow. Right.
Yeah. Whoa. It was like fighting Wolverine and Ben Vereen at the same time. Now that to me is funny. That's funny. You know?
Yeah, it's funny to you, and I think you have a better sense of comedy than the average audience member. I mean, I would love to watch this bit happen in front of a Tuesday at the Strip. You know, I would love to see it. I would love to see you, go all in on this, just to witness.
Well, so what happened was
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
This is what the way the whole bit was I was doing the bit about the boxing trainer thing, which is a really big, very funny bit. I added this line about Wolverine and Ben Vereen. It never got a laugh because no one knew who Ben Vereen was. So I said, I'm gonna explain who Ben Vereen is way early in my act so that when I call it back, they'll get it during this bit. Okay? And the bit itself kills. That joke still never worked, even when I explained who Ben Vereen was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think like a cheap bit is basically the Rob Schneider bit, where it's like, are there other movies where people have names that are similar to people, and are they silly people in that role? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, is there like some I don't know? Think of people's names.
Well, yeah. If George Patton was on what's that show with Dick Van Patten?
Well, it's got to be two of the same name. It has to be the same names.
I know. I'm trying to cheat it.
It has to be similar names. That's how it works. That's how it's fluid. It's like it's got to be like. You got to think of names. Like who's got similar last names in Hollywood.
Well, there's something funny about the fact that it's a good thing they cast Roy Scheider instead of Rob Schneider in Jaws. That would have been some bad casting. I don't think Jaws would have been nearly as memorable.
Yeah,
if Rob Schneider.
But it works. It's a perfect one of those kind of jokes. But then is there another one? Is there there?
I'm sure there is. We just We've got to come up with
Michael Jordan as Apollo, or I don't know. I don't know. Like, what is there another? I don't know. There's got to be.
Oh, there's probably a million. There's a million of them. We just
Adam, come up, bring up actors with the same last names,
or similar sounding last names,
or similar sounding, whatever. Yeah, similar sounding, either one.
Yeah, similar sounding. I think would actually be. Oh well, because Rob Schneider and Roy Scheider are not the same last name. So that's all you need is that. Yeah.
Yeah. It might be a harder list, though.
Well, AI can do anything, supposedly. So, and so can
people like you are going to bring down the world. But I don't think I don't think it can do everything.
Okay, you're absolutely right. But I'm curious to see what we come up with on this list.
Last time we did, we talked about that the driverless car thing. They're everywhere. Those driverless cars. They have them in New York yet?
Not that I know of. I have not seen.
I haven't seen them.
Thank God. Rob Schneider.
They would steal the hubcaps in New York.
Actors with the same last names.
People will be living in them.
Like if Shaquille O'Neal was in Love Story instead of Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah. There you go.
You know what I mean? That's a bad example, but it's an example. It's not bad.
It's it's going down the same road.
because names could screw up everything. That's actually a funny idea. If you found the right combinations, I'm sure there's a million of them. But like, because Love Story. Remember that classic movie? Now it's too dated, but if you found one, I don't think it would nearly. Of course, but my point is that that's a perfect example of a joke that would work if you found something. And there's got to be a couple of reasons. Like if Ryan O'Neal was in that movie. Now that wouldn't be nearly as moving if Shaquille O'Neal had played it, right? And I don't think the Lakers would have won if Ryan O'Neal was playing center. But anyway, right.
Yeah,
right.
it's silly, it's clean, it's an early show joke. But it's not going to win you awards, but I think it's not. Like,
it's not my new closer. Okay, I understand that. It's okay.
It's like
okay.
Well, it's funny.
Filler.
Filler is sometimes, because sometimes we're rock stars and sometimes we're plumbers, and when you're a plumber, you gotta fill it out. Go ahead,
of course. No, I have a series of jokes that I think are really funny, which I always feel are a bit cheap, but I say, I'm trying to get my own sitcom, and everybody heard Everybody Loves Raymond. I think we've maybe talked about this already. I have my own version of Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm pitching. It's called Some of Us Have Mixed Feelings About Brian. Okay. Then I say I'm pitching a sequel to This Is Us. It's called That Was Them. And a prequel to This Is Us called Who Was That? Okay. Right. Okay. And then I've got a show. See if any of this resonates with any, or Dustin, you like any of this. But then a reality show, a reality nature show. It's called Naked and Inexplicably Confident. Okay. And then my final one is Gilligan's Peninsula. It's just like Gilligan's Island, except they're only surrounded on 3 sides by water, so they can leave whenever they want. It's okay. So I think that's funny, but whatever. I think it would be funny. A series, but those are so dumb and they don't fit the intellectual heft of some of my other jokes. So like I don't do them very often. They don't seem to fit exactly well in my act. So I don't know what to do.
Well, it's silly. I mean, sometimes you take yourself too serious as comedians, and so I think to be silly is not a bad thing. I think every comic should have some moment of silly. Carlin had it. He would do this brilliant piece on politics and then do a fart joke. I think it's nothing wrong with that. Well, it's funny because have you ever done cruises? You ever done a string of cruises?
One.
How'd that go?
One. I did fine, but I hated it. I just felt like I was so killing. I just felt like I was killing the clock. I was looking at I was thinking about editing every other word and killing the clock and trying not to offend anybody. It was horrible. I just remember just going 20 more minutes. It was like Bill Burr's thing with in Philly in a totally different context. It was me going 20 more minutes. 15 more minutes, like just me basically running out the clock,
Well, I just got a huge contract. I'm doing a whole bunch of cruises.
Are you really? Oh, that's great. Good for you.
Because I'm the opposite. I don't have commercial money and spot all that shit. So I'm just like, hey, I gotta do something, and so it's consistent, which I like. It's like because that's the thing. When you say
when you say you got a contract, what do you mean?
Yeah,
like you got a.
No, I got a contract with an agency. They've already booked me on 2 cruises. I got one in July 27th through August 3rd, and I got one next year, and I'm trying to get some more. And it's like whatever. I just need and the whole thing is like it's this prep of like you got to do 145-minute family, and then you got to do 145-minute adult or whatever, which which I'm coming at it in a different energy where it's just like, can I pull this off? Can I do this? And, it's like more as opposed to, I can't come in negative from the get, Also, I think, it's funny. Cruises are a little better now than they used to be as far as with the comedy stuff. Because I know like Dean Edwards, there's a lot of people doing them that I know and, that are less, cruise ship guys.
Yeah.
But they also have it like there's comedy clubs on them now. They have 20 minutes. There's everybody does 20 or whatever. They're trying to hip it up. But I'm terrified in a lot of ways. But it's like I'm trying to find. I got to write a new family act. And so it's just, one of those things, but I have to like figure it out by the July 27th.
Oh, good Lord.
So I'm not the guy that they helicopter off the plane or off off the ship. Yes. Yeah. So
you don't want to be that guy.
It would be kind of badass if I was that guy, but it's good content.
It would be funny. It would be funny if you could manufacture that and just do it as you know what I mean? Like
I just do the one cruise to get that.
Yes, you do the one cruise just to get that guy. Just for the story.
I'm
just for the
up
story.
There just slamming Trump, slamming everybody, stupid cruise people, fat. People just fat whales and just going after everybody, eating at the buffet, and your kids are dumb.
If you could manufacture a controversy, I love the idea of manufactured controversy.
Well, there's a guy who did it.
Superstar.
Yes and no. There's a guy who did it. Rob Riley. Do you know that guy? You know that comedian?
Yes.
Did you hear about him?
Of course.
He said the N-word, and it was like a whole thing.
But did he actually take off from that?
No, he did. That's what I'm saying. He didn't.
No, I know. Well, I'm saying manufacture it for clicks and outrage.
Well, that's pretty big outrage, and he didn't. That's why I'm saying I don't know if I could do it. If he couldn't do it off the N-word, then I don't know, because that's really the word that's going to get all the attention.
But I don't think people are going to go, we want to go see the guy who said the N-word. I don't think that's an appealing thing. But if you do something like offensive.
No. The idea is to get helicoptered off. Nobody's going to like you is the idea.
Well, I know. But I guess we have to figure out a way. I think it would be really funny to stage it. Yeah. Completely. Like you get a fake boat. You get a fake boat. Like, I don't know. You just
green
do
screen.
The whole thing.
Well, we could do that. We could do a green screen and then just have a picture. Then Adam just puts in a video footage of a helicopter just leaving a cruise ship.
Yes.
And I'm in the helicopter. Like, how do you not like that bit? Like Hitler, whatever,
Because there's people that used to hoax the media all the time and get on shows and be fake people and really con them into thinking they were real people, and then they get hoaxed by them. And so if you could and the media is so gullible. Like if you said this guy was airlifted off a cruise ship or something.
This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea because I just signed a big thing with a bunch of cruises. So.
This is a terrible idea. This is an awful idea. It's the worst idea anyone's ever floated, right?
Hey, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Floated.
Hey, whatever. Lady.
Boats. Floated. Boats.
But,
that's why floated. No, you don't. You just said it, and I was giving you props on it. Never mind.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I don't like that tone.
I don't like that tone.
These are my these are my Kurt Cobain glasses.
Your new Dustin's adopting a new character like what's his name in U2. Remember when U2 the guy was when
the guy Bono, the guy, yeah. You're my age. He's Bono.
Zeropa tour.
That's their best album.
Yeah.
It's hands down their best album. Everything else is too preachy. That's a great album. Yeah. So you got Achtung Baby on there, right? Is that the one?
No, Achtung Baby.
No, that's
a separate album.
Which one's that?
What's on Zeropa?
I could see the. Which that's a great album. Whatever Achtung Baby's on. My apologies for not knowing my.
Well, Achtung Baby is actually the album.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the album?
Yeah.
No, you're wide enough to know extensive amount of YouTube
Achtung
information.
Baby is the name of the album. Yeah. I'm pretty sure
when I think of YouTube information, your face pops up. Now your light went off. What happened?
Who, me?
Yeah. Now you look like
Achtung Baby.
Put that light back on. You look younger with the light on. Put the light back on.
Hold on.
Your light went off.
I know. Hold on. There you go.
There you go. We need a light. We look younger on the light.
Yeah, we look much.
We're trying to get hip to the kids. You get once that light goes off, it's like, damn.
That's right. Wait, I'm still waiting for Adam to give me some names, but we
didn't find any.
No, I couldn't find any.
Find it.
It was
see.
No, every single one was celebrities that had the same name as another celebrity, but not similar sounding.
Do that.
Well, that's not a bad. That could
Well,
work.
do that. Do that list because he's not gonna find the list that you're looking for. But that list is fine. You bring up that list.
All right. I got to go back
Like if
to
Danny
it.
DeVito played Vito Corleone. I mean, it was like a bad.
Stop it.
I'm trying. I'm waiting for. I'm filling in. I'm tap dancing while
You're not
Adam.
Philly. You talk to me. I'm right here. Have a real moment. I'm right here. Ah. Okay, there we go.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, we mentioned that. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got?
Okay.
We got
No,
Ferguson. Nobody knows who
That's
that
not gonna
is.
work.
Yeah.
that's not going to work. That's not going to work either.
She played the godmother in Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you said, oh no,
Nobody's gonna. I'm kidding. Nobody's gonna know that Wizard of Oz reference.
Jane
That's
Seymour
hilarious.
and Queen Jane Seymour. That's really hilarious. Wow.
Can you imagine Queen? Can you imagine Queen Jane Seymour as the medicine, Dr. Quinn, the medicine woman? Can you imagine?
What would that be like? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lots of beheadings.
That's actually not bad. If Robbie Williams.
Can you imagine Robbie Williams as what's that one?
Good Morning Vietnam.
Or no, what's the one he dresses up? Miss Doubtfire. Miss Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, Albert Brooks. Oh, that's terrible. Albert Brooks, and he was born Einstein. Are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. This is awful.
Albert Einstein. I didn't know that was his real name. Well, what a name.
Jack Gleason and Jackie Gleason.
Albert Einstein. That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. If anyone
can you imagine that whole, okay, Einstein. No, actually, that's my name.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure he broke that out at least once in his lifetime. Okay, Einstein.
Yeah,
No. That's my name. So yeah, right. I am Einstein.
Well, you'd have to do so much work on that one. Albert Brooks used to be known. His real name is Einstein.
No. Again, just for us.
What? Can you imagine? Wait a second. I'm going somewhere with this. So
go.
Okay, I don't think Finding Nemo would have the same effect if Albert Einstein had played the character instead of Albert Brooks, whose real name is Einstein. Anyway, that's my point.
Okay, Mr. Voice.
Good
you
night,
gotta
folks.
do no. You can't say goodnight. Not without the voice. You got to do Albert Brooks as. You got to do Albert Einstein as Nemo.
Come on.
Is that how Einstein?
Oh, come
talks?
on. Where's Nemo?
That's not Einstein's voice. Wasn't he German or something?
That's Albert. I'm actually doing Albert Einstein. That was actually the physicist.
Wow. Okay. Just
come on. E equals MC squared. Come on.
Is that how he talks? Like a 60-year-old surfer? Okay, go ahead.
No. Anyway, all right. This is awful. Steve McQueen and filmmaker Steve McQueen. There you go.
No, you don't. That's not good. Nobody knows who
it's awful.
The filmmaker is.
Absolutely awful.
Well,
none of this works.
Well, slow down. Just let us keep moving.
I'm
actor Bill Murray
and actor Billy. And how about actor Bill Murray? And he was replaced by actor Billy Mooney, who was on the Addams Family. Does anyone? No one's gonna. I know.
How about Bill Burr and the band Blur?
So you're saying if the band Blur had bombed in front of the Philadelphia fans, it wouldn't be nearly as good as Billy Burr doing it.
I saw. There's a video of them bombing.
In Philly?
Yes. No, I don't know if it's in Philly, but it's like pull that up. They did, right? They freaked out on everybody.
It was at Coachella. Yeah.
It's pretty funny because they were.
That's great.
Nobody was dancing. Yeah. They were young, and they didn't realize how
there.
They had one of the. Nobody went to see them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were all there to see whoever the young person was.
Yeah.
That's we're making fun of this. But this, you know how like somebody did a joke where they took song lyrics. Somebody did this bit that went super viral where they took the song lyrics of something. It's a British guy or an Irish comic. I can't remember. I don't even know what the premise was. But you could really do a lot with this. If the band Blur, was in Glengarry Glen Ross. Not that, but I'm saying you could there's so much possibility. Albert Einstein. What if you could get more absurd as you go? Like if the band Blur and you go Bob Einstein, who was, by the way, Bob Einstein was Super
I think this is a TikTok. You could do this on TikTok. You could like switch out with AI.
Yeah.
I think AI could do this. This would be where AI could come in creatively and maybe do something interesting, and it would be that. Like I think you should do this. I think you should put in Rob Schneider moving video as Roy Schneider from Jaws, and see if like it shows him in the thing, and then the shark comes up and.
Now, why do I think Why do I think that sounds like somebody's already done that? Like it almost sounds like I bet you if you Googled Rob Schneider in Jaws, somebody would somebody either did something like it or maybe. It just smells like something somebody on the internet would do.
Smells like Teen Spirit. That's what it smells like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
I had another bit I wanted to do.
Uh-oh. Here it comes. What do you got?
Oh. Did we do Some Say? Some Say this. Did we do that one already?
Just go with it.
Well, you know how like in the internet, the media always does this thing where they go, Trump is this, or I have to forget Trump, but but some say this is going to lead to Armageddon. They always, and the some say is always used to justify the alternate perspective, no matter what it is. So it's like, give me a bad example of something. It's Pol Pot. Yes, he murdered millions of people, but some say that he brought stability to the country. The media does this thing, some say, and I always wanted to use that as a callback later in my act to do a some say joke, and then do something like that's the worst thing. I was at Starbucks and it's terrible, it's awful, but some say it's actually very efficient. I think that there's a joke there somewhere, but more. That it's
you could say you could. I think it'd be more personal. Is funnier, and my girl are just kind of like. I'm
that's
trying
true.
to think. Yeah, some say.
My girlfriend accuses me. Oh, my girlfriend accuses me of being narcissistic, self-absorbed, that I don't listen to. But some say I just that's funny, like a personal, more personal,
that's funnier than like Starbucks or something. Like it's just funny. Put it on yourself.
My girlfriend the other day was saying you're egocentric, you're manipulative, you never you're not open about your feelings, and I said yes, that's true, but some say I'm just being I don't know like
the product of my upbringing or whatever.
But some say that's just a person. I'm a person with strong boundaries. That's actually kind of funny. Some say strong boundaries, personal. There's something there. I don't know what the joke is, but
I think it's worth a shot.
The first part is the tougher part. I think the callbacks now, that is great. Now I have to justify the existence of the whole bit by saying, I hate when the media does this thing where they go,
you already do all those news bits, and so just sandwich it in there with the news bit. You're just like, and I always hate it when there's certain things newscasters say that drives me crazy. The one is some say, and just do it. Just get into it quick. You don't need a whole thing.
Some say this could lead to. Some say this could.
You might need a little funny part there when you do the actual news things. You got to be like, but you got to be like, he killed 13 people, but some say he was a libertarian or whatever it is, whatever the the punch is.
The media always wants to be even-handed. The angle is that the media is so eager to be even-handed.
And who are these sums? Like, who's this?
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
And then it's like, who are the sums? Who are these sums?
And it's three guys in two guys in Brooklyn and a guy in Portland who eats chia seeds or something, or works in the mall or something.
Sums. Yeah.
And then you're. That's the point. Is that justifies whatever your sum framework is, because they are some. There could be 80 million people believe one thing, but some say, and who's the some? Well, we found 3 guys that said that. That's some people.
But
right?
that's funny.
And it's but there's something really funny about that some could be the smallest. You could find somebody to say something about anything. It's like somebody.
Well, I think that's funny. I think getting angry about like what the sums are is funny.
Yeah, some. You can always find somebody who'll say something about anything. Okay, something like that. All right, that's funny. And then there was one other thing.
Okay, don't be hogging. Don't be hogging. What do you got?
No, that's it. I mean, no, it's a some stuff.
I'm gonna pull a Brian right now. So I can't get this bit to work. This is a bit that you might be. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, but I can't get this part of it to work. And it's very funny to me. And, I do the one joke where I talk about, the hypochondriac joke and, easy to get out of fights. She's like, get off your phone, pay attention to me. I'm like, is that a lump on your neck? It's like, it gets, that kind of thing. So I get her into her hypochondria. And then the thing, I've been working on this for a couple of years now, and I can't quite get this part to work, but I always think it's funny. She has misophonia. And that's that thing where, when she hears certain sounds, she goes into a rage, beeping, ticking, my breathing, which is terrifying. So that thing, the woman I love with all my heart, that sound that keeps me alive, she hates it. And it kind of gets a joke. It kind of gets a laugh, but it isn't quite. And so it's like, I just steal the idea of someone having misophonia or her diagnosing herself with it, which is funny because she always diagnoses. She thinks she has everything, kind of like that cancer thing we're talking about. So it's like with Mike Birbiglia, but it's like, so I don't know. I just can't, I've tried to do a joke about how I have losophonia where I lose everything, and so I can't find everything. And then when I try to find stuff, I use my Finder, which has a beeping sound, and so then I'm adding to this by she's got this phonia thing, and then I'm sitting there trying to find my phone, and it's like and I do like a Das Boot reference, which nobody's going to get a German submarine movie from 1986, but and so I've tried it, and it always kind of falls flat after that. And the only punch that really works is the is that a lump on your neck? And then I can't quite carry it into anything else. Like I feel like you have a joke that just stops, and it's
so okay. So the whole point of the bit is really, I know there's all this extraneous stuff, but let's strip it down to its parts and say, okay, what's usable in that bit? Like me. So there's this thing, misophonia, which you have to explain. Okay, right. Okay, so my girlfriend has misophonia. Just forget about the hypochondria thing for right now. Just put that somewhere we can get.
Well, that's the setup.
No, but I'm saying that's what's f***ing it up a little bit, because you got hypochondria, she's got this, and then she's got misophonia. It's like the jokes. To me, there's like too much going on. So let's work on one piece and then try to connect it to the other piece. Because like, if you just did the bit about misophonia, you have to make that bit work as an individual thing before you can skin graft the other thing onto it. And I know that that's probably doable, but misophonia, hypochondria, you're talking about one thing, you're pivoting to another. It's like, but something. Well,
I'm not pivoting. I'm not pivoting. I'm saying that she diagnoses herself because she's hypochondriac.
Right,
but then
she
thinks she has cancer. She thinks she has
right. I know
misophonia.
But she has. She says she has misophonia. It's like it's so much information that you're okay,
I got you.
Yeah. So if you said misophonia, my girlfriend has misophonia. You know what that is? That's where and explain it really quick. What is it? You get
you go into rage when you hear certain sounds like ticking, beeping, my breathing.
Right. My breathing. Well, okay, right there. Like she actually gets disturbed. I mean, because forget about the hypochondria thing. I think that's weighing it down. It's you're trying to get. If you go just break it down to misophonia, she actually gets upset about my breathing, which is really bad. And then you can talk about hypochondria later once you get the joke for misophonia. Yeah. She's got and then do it in reverse, because I think what's up is you got hypochondria and misophonia. So well,
that joke hits so hard that it's hard to follow it. So it's like I think that's the
hypochondria joke.
Oh yeah, that's probably my biggest joke. People go crazy for it. So it's like I think I need to. Yeah, that's the problem.
I think the two bits are separate.
Yeah,
and then I think you should separate them and not try to do it. If the hypochondria thing's killing, It's self-contained. It works. You don't need to do anything else with it.
Huge applause break. I've never done it and not get an applause break.
Great. Then I think then I think what you do is then do the hypochondria thing, do something else. Then you go. And my girlfriend has misophonia, which is like.
Oh, do it later. Okay.
Yes, I'm saying. Close the loop on the hypochondria thing. Get your big laugh on that, and then go. Because she's a hypochondriac, or you're the hypochondriac. Wait, which
she is.
Like, she is. Okay.
The joke is, it's easy to get out of fights when you date a hypochondriac.
Right.
She's like, get off your phone, pay attention to me. I'm like, is that a lump on your neck? And then that's you know,
great.
That's
great.
the joke.
Great. So that if that's self-contained, crushes every time, great. I don't think the misophonia thing fits right there. I think you should take that as a separate island, and then and along with her misophonia, hypochondria, and everything else, I'm in hog heaven. I got a lot to work with here. She's got this, but then she's also got, but along with her hypochondria, get away from that though. Seal that loop, and then just go. And sometimes my girlfriend she has something called misophonia in addition to her hypochondria. And if you had 3, that would be even funnier. Like if she has some other malady that she has that you could build a bit around, that you are always triggering in her. So you're triggering her hypochondria, you're triggering her misophonia, you're triggering her agoraphobia. I don't know, whatever it is. Like she's fear of snakes or like.
Well, she doesn't have agoraphobia because she won't do the dishes.
Well, okay, that would be funny.
I do all the cleaning. I do all the cleaning. So she did. That's the one I wish you would have gotten.
That's funny. You wish, why couldn't you have this so that you would stay? You know what I mean? Like you could. I wish she had some of these other maladies. Some of these things really pay off. Some of them really are a detriment to me, and some of them really would be a big payoff, because there are certain maladies that I wish, I wish you could go to a clinic and trade. Or go on like arbitrage or some website or something and trade maladies or get something. Can you swap out one? Because
can we switch out misophonia for nymphomaniac? Could we do that one?
Oh, there you go. Why, if you're gonna have a malady, let it be something that benefits me. How come nymphomaniac? Oh, that's great. I love that. There's something really funny about that. If you're gonna have a malady, I go online. That's really funny. She's got misophonia. If you're going to have a neurotic a pathological condition, how about picking one from the catalog that I get something out of? Okay, you know what I mean? That's funny, right?
That's good. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. Something like that.
That's why we do the show, kids. That's why we do the show.
I can't believe that I can't believe that AI could make a Ben Vereen. Wolverine thing in 2 seconds, but they can't give us a couple of actors with similar sounding names. Are you right? That's really funny.
I was just going through Google. I was just trying to Google that.
I know.
Yeah, Google is your limitation. I think. Yeah. If you went through that.
But I don't understand, Adam. Why isn't Google? I thought Google was using AI. Why is AI so much better than just Google? I don't understand. Like, wouldn't Google be utilizing AI to, like, if you said, and then they give you these dopey links and you're like, no, but go to AI, but Google's already using AI. They got ChatGPT, so why don't they combine the two?
A search is different than a computerized brain. It's just completely different. One is just searching information, and the other was creating, things. So it's a different thing. I mean, it's like whole facilities to do this that GPT thing. Like they have to use like land and water. Like it's a whole thing. Yeah. Like it's not some just little thing in your phone. Like it's not good actually.
We're killing the earth just by just by doing a Ben Vereen as Wolverine.
20 birds just died, Brian, for that little image you got.
They fell out of the sky so I could do one bit that doesn't even work.
The water supply in Africa just dried up because you needed that bit so bad. You needed that photo. Yeah.
You're welcome. That's
there it is.
Rob Schneider is Roy Schneider.
That is great. That is so disturbing.
Yeah.
I wish that is just. Oh,
That's
wait
amazing.
a minute. While we're at it, Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah.
If there was somebody like Richard Dreyfuss, somebody that sounded like Richard Dreyfuss, and somebody that sounded like Robert Shaw and Quint. If Fiona Shaw, I don't know.
I don't know if we can do the whole cast. I don't think the cast works, but that works.
No, I don't think it works either. I'm just saying, you know me. I'm just like, is there more meat on the bone there? If the cast was Fiona Shaw, Rob Schneider, instead of Robert Shaw, it was Fiona Shaw, Rob Schneider, and who's the other guy? Richard Dreyfuss was.
Julia Dreyfus.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Yes. Perfect. That's friggin' funny. Okay. Now you said 3 wouldn't work, and I'm telling you, that's freaking gold. Okay. That's freaking hilarious. Okay?
That's it. We did it, folks.
If Quint, and you didn't even have to do the other. Those two are so good. Fiona Shaw. Rob Schneider. I don't like Fiona Shaw. It's a little contrived, but Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Rob Schneider is gold. If you can come up with, there's got to be somebody with the name Shaw, like that's funnier than Fiona Shaw.
Robin Shaw. Do you know her?
I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe there's somebody. Bill Shaw. There's got to be a person named Shaw. Like even if it was an athlete, it would be great. Mm-hmm. Like somebody completely out of the loop of acting would be so freaking funny. Somebody famous named Shaw. There's got to be somebody. Fiona Shaw is kind of funny, but it's like the least of compared to Julie Louis-Dreyfus and Richard Dreyfuss and Rob Schneider and Roy Schneider. That is hilarious. Okay, that's really freaking funny. I don't even know what to do with that, but that's freaking funny.
I know we might have to air this whole episode on YouTube just because of all the imagery.
Yeah.
All right, so. We gotta get some clips up, guys. It's soon. Where I think we got some great episodes. I listened to the last episode; it was fantastic. Yeah, all that Brian stuff, his dad, it was great.
Yeah,
people don't know how good this is. It's good stuff.
All right.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss and Julia Dreyfus. I can't believe I didn't think of that. That is so perfect. Julia, that's awesome. You're the man.
That's why we're together. That's why we're together. You're the man. You the man.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Rob Schneider in Jaws, right? Okay.
Well, folks, that's our show. It's time for us to go. Make sure to follow us, give us a like, drop us a comment, and always subscribe. We're chasing comedy on all the socials. We hope you had a gas, had some laughs, and maybe you learned something too. Until next time, we're Brian and Dustin, and we're chasing comedy.